I think it's going to be easy for us to
talk for 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be,
especially if you're leading a conversation with some questions.
Yeah, I mean you're going to get into it. So yeah,
I'm terrified.
On the mic with Todd Giuliano.
Presented by DJ&Lindsey.
Get some of that. Welcome back. We're here on the mic. I'm here with Drew Kazemba. He is, I think you're almost just north of 90 days here now. You're at 120. Are we there yet?
Yeah, something like that.
Trying to catch up. Here's status. A lot of exciting things happening in your life. We're going to get to all this.
Yeah.
But first, hey, listen, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
You know, rough week, but
Yeah, yesterday you had a couple of bouts you weren't stoked about, but
yeah, it's just the weather, man. Really changed my mood, but I woke up on the right side of the pillow this morning.
yeah, no doubt. So, but other than that, pretty exciting things happening so far. Let's get into a couple of milestones. Just since joining here, we've gotten engaged, we've purchased our own house. What else have we done?
We've lived life, man.
We lived the life.
We've finally found a work-life balance to where I'm not. I'm exhausted.
Sure.
But I'm not upset to come into work every day.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the goal of anybody's career. But let's get into it. So, grew up in Mississippi. What brought you here?
So kind of two things. COVID happened, and I was looking for a job, and it just so happens that I followed a woman down here that I'm now engaged to. So I was trying to find anywhere in Florida, and it just so happens I got a job in Jacksonville. And so I was able to be about 3 hours within, kind of make that relationship work, and then stayed here. So that's kind of how I got here.
All right. Rat, where was she?
Tampa.
Okay, that checks out. So
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Tampa, love it.
Yeah,
All right, so followed a girl here, obviously chasing COVID constraints.
Yeah.
You're the only person in the world who did that. And how, so, but you got a job not in real estate?
Not in real estate.
Okay, what propelled you, what was that job in?
It was a entry-level medical sales position.
Love it. Sales. When did the shift happen to real estate?
So about a year after being there, I had a buddy from back home who had found a lot of success and some unconventional ways of real estate just outside of being an agent, investing, a lot of that kind of stuff. And kind of started talking to me and showing me a lot of the avenues that you can do with real estate in order to make money and, also kind of be your own boss. So definitely, enlightened me, and I was very intrigued. So I started.
So you got the quick pitch. You got the quick, hey, real estate is the best. You can just do whatever you want. Everyone throws money at you. It's great.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
2 months in, you're going to start your own course team and have a private jet.
Yeah, already TikTok guru status. So follow me on there. Subscribe to my course. It's $250.
Love that.
Just kidding.
Love that. Love that.
So yeah, Sam kind of put me on, and was not happy at my last job. So started just grinding after work every day, trying to make that work. Had a few connections. Nothing ever panned out, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be an agent. I'm going to give it a shot.
No doubt. So you get licensed, you jump in, you immediately join a 100%er. Was that the attraction there? Like, what was kind of like that process of like joining that? What was the plan, let's say?
So I interviewed just about everybody that I could think of in Jacksonville, and what really intrigued me was the little background knowledge of real estate I had all came from mostly off-market and investing. So I talked to a bunch of people, and then I spoke with one broker, and she goes, you know what, I have a guy a little bit older than you, lives out where you live, and he's an investor. And, he got started kind of the same way as you did. So I got connected with him, and he told me he was going to take me under his wing. And I get it, people are busy, but I never felt that wing covering me.
Yeah, I'll say that wing kind of started to get real short.
And so, I was like, you know what? I quit my job. What am I going to do? I've got to survive. I've got to hit the ground running. What do I do? So they sent me this big, long course of not the greatest information. No hate. I get it. Everyone's busy. Everyone's focused on their own thing. But me, being a new agent, new to being an agent, I had no idea how to do this. So I just kind of sat for 2 months watching YouTube videos and paying fees to join a brokerage and watching YouTube videos on how to get started. And
a lot out of pocket right there.
and it wasn't the greatest thing. didn't make me happy.
What was the yield for all that time and money spent? What was the income that came in?
Yeah, well, it's insane. I'm actually kind of nervous telling people, but it was a big old fat check of $0.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to keep 100% of it.
Yeah, 100%. So
100%.
that was a good thing. The split was awesome.
How long was that from entry to there to pre-joining us? Like right to where you were like, all right, this is.
I think it was either October or September to about mid-November.
Okay, so you were in it for
2 or 3
almost
months.
Yeah, so almost 3 months, and you lived off just that single payout of $0 the whole time.
Yeah.
That's so sick. That's
Yeah.
so
Well,
sick.
when you get paid like that, you don't really have to worry about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much. So you were just feet up in the sand
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, yeah.
So once you woke up and you're like, okay, this is dumb and it's insane.
Yeah.
How did we have a growth advisor reach out to you? You reached out to us. How did this come about?
So Brittany Nolan had been calling me.
Broker Britt.
Broker Brett, and she had been calling me, blowing me up, asking me what I'm doing, how's it going.
No, I'm literally doing nothing.
Yeah, and so I just came in again.
Yeah.
I came in again, and I think I was still, I don't remember, but I was kind of on the fence. I was on the fence, there's all these
Things you hear.
Things you hear.
People who,
Yeah.
had a great time. It was fully not their fault that they didn't do any of the stuff or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Right.
You hear all these things, the stigmas, and so I don't know. I'd heard good stigmas as well, and I talked to people, and I'd seen how these things have gone. And Jamie was my realtor before, and I just got nervous in the heat of buying a house before and backed out like a typical buyer. No, it's scary.
Yeah.
So I backed out. Jamie was my realtor before, so I kind of knew the process a little bit, and I just thought that DJ&Lindsey was the closest thing to a stable paycheck in real estate.
Well, that's probably the only thing you got right in real estate leading up to that point.
Yeah.
Was probably
Yeah.
that statement right there.
Yeah.
Because the guy lives by it. He's like, it's the closest to a guarantee in real estate that I could give anybody. He's like,
Yeah.
I would hire anybody's grandmother, brother, sister,
Yeah,
dog
and
walker.
I can vouch for him.
Yeah.
We're in a very tricky market. I mean, we're in a sales position where you only eat what you kill.
Right.
So that's scary when you have bills and you have people relying on you and all this kind of stuff. And, I wake up and I'm not nervous being here.
Right.
I'm not nervous. The opportunities that we're given, it makes you, as long as you do what you're supposed to do,
Like any other job.
like any other job,
Yeah.
yeah, then you're going to be fine.
Yeah. We have I always say we're in an industry where there's so many wantrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's a lot
That
of it.
right, everybody is a top producer no matter where you go, and we were looking at top producers from it might have been a place you had been where the average sale of the top producer volume
Mm-hmm.
was just a single home sold.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those, which it's just completely different over here.
Well, right. So, and let's get into that in a bit because again, you've been here. Let's just safely say 120 days. You've already hit a top producer list once.
Yeah.
You've had a great month. It was February.
Yeah, February or January, one of the two.
One of the two.
Yeah, February, I think.
Regardless, so let's say January, realistically, it was your first month fully in production,
Yeah.
even though you got here at the beginning of December. It was the end of the year.
Yeah.
Rarely
trainings,
anybody's-
everything. Yeah.
Right. So really January 1st. So I mean, effectively month 2.
Yeah.
You were able to hit our top producer thing by selling, I think you sold 5 homes.
Yeah, 5 homes.
That's dumb. I don't even know what to say to that. That's so month 1, you sold 5 homes in order to then make the top producer list, which again, just continued to heat up. I mean, just this past month in March, we had 15 agents sell over $1 million.
Yeah, I thought I was on that list, but I think I was just short.
Well, it's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Closings could get pushed, right? So
Yeah, I had a
we'll see
yeah.
your name in April, right, instead
Yeah,
of
you'll
March.
see me again.
Yeah, so that's crazy exciting. I mean, people say I'm coming from a 0%. I literally made $0
Yeah.
to now I just sold 5 houses inside 60 days.
Yeah.
I'm on the top producer list. You get past all the other objections, all the naysayers, all that.
Yeah.
What do you look at that now and you're just like, man, I was there. Like, what do you say to those people?
That are scared to do it, like or just take the jump or just come over here. Because I got words for both of them.
But let's hit us with one and then we'll get to the other.
I've got to say, if you're scared to do it, anything worth it in life is going to be worth taking the risk.
No
And
doubt.
you'll never know if you don't find out. It's scary, but do it. Another thing is if you're scared to come over here, you hear all the stigma, you have this persona that you have about DJ&Lindsey, come check it out for yourself. Don't listen to everybody else because, I came over here kind of with that head too, and I absolutely have found a place that I love.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I absolutely love it. I love the opportunity.
you got your boy. You've been here all morning.
Yeah.
You were on shift. You were freaking putting. You're coming in here, chopping it up with your buddies.
Yeah.
You're doing photo shoots with Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jay, our little Barbie shoot, our stepbrother shoot.
Yeah.
We know how to have fun and we know how to get the job done as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's on a hot streak too. He had been over. We'll get him going on the pod too because he has an interesting story. He was on the brokerage side for a little bit until he was able to come over full time.
Yeah.
So when he came over, it was like plug and play. He like already kind of knew what he was getting himself into. It was just timing for him, which again is like not the worst option to like, I'm part-time, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, great, come on over. You can get all our training, get everything you have. So when you come over here, the plug and play is now we just give you leads.
Yeah.
So he was like prepared to go. He got off to a real hot start.
Yeah. Well, what you just said, everyone asks about the leads and the quality of these leads and everything, and they're in there. I mean, that was
They're screaming hot. Yeah.
Like everyone goes, oh, well, you get Zillow, you get realtor calls. Yeah. Well, I got people who weren't qualified for my first like 4 homes.
Yeah.
So they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're trying to get people to wrap their head around is that the volume is coming here. We have the opportunities. We're literally trying to get them into the hands of agents that want to service those.
Yeah.
And you are now that person.
It's like that SpongeBob episode where he's got so much money and they're like, we started burying it. We started burning it. At one point, we were just giving it away.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what's happening here.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the opportunity. It's someone looking to transact and they're just like, can somebody help? And you're like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Everyone back here, all their hands are raised. Like, yeah, we're here.
Right. And that's what I just was talking with actually Lindsay the other day. And she was telling me a story about how she was in the dentist's office and somebody had, said, oh, hey, you guys from the billboards. And they had heard there was some sort of call center atmosphere in here. And she's like, well, do you get leads provided to you where you're at? He's like, yeah. He's like, how many? He's like, like 3 or 4 a month. She's like, okay, do you call them? She's like, yeah. Well, what happens if they don't answer? Do you call them again? He's like, well, yeah, I try to connect with them. Like, great. So that's literally what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But instead of 3 to 4 a month, it's like 3,000 or 4,000 a month.
Yeah.
And then we have to give them to everybody so that they can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Same business model that you're doing over there. You're just doing it at a higher volume.
Yeah. And the stigma around the call center over here. I mean, if you can't call somebody, how are you going to do real estate?
We've always said it's a contact sport.
Yeah. It's a contact sport. It's you get in touch with somebody, you talk to them, you figure out what's going on, see how you can help provide value for them. And, it works that way. I mean, if you're not calling, you're door knocking. If you're not door knocking, you're networking. If you're not networking, you're probably not doing much.
Right. So and the reason why we do any sort of outbound call is because the inbound gesture, hand raise, form fill, whatever, was done at an off hour where it's probably inappropriate to talk to that person on the phone.
Yeah.
So now it's outbound reach, but it's all incoming traffic.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to wait on the phone for 9 hours until someone wakes up to talk to you? No.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll just call you back. That's kind of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But people get this call center vibe because of the amount of volume that comes in here.
Yeah.
They just get discouraged, or it's just like, mostly it's just like they make up their own
stigma. Yeah.
Yeah. Story, stigma, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Let's get into some personal life stuff.
All
you
right.
are flying high. We just got engaged in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And when I say we, I mean not me and you. You and
We
you're
could,
now.
though.
We could. You
ask.
could. 2024, love wins.
We got to ask Shanley if she's okay with that.
She's probably cool with it. But congratulations, though. That's fantastic. I remember you telling us all about it, the whole trip, picking up the thing, where are we going to get the photo done, all this stuff.
Yeah.
How was the moment? It was just like, do you even remember it, or it's just like it's a wash?
Yeah. No, I remember. So let's start with this. I have 2 pairs of sunglasses, or like cases for them, and I have this little soft one, and I never take it with me anywhere because I always take the hard one so my glasses don't get broken. Well, she was I was like, hey, Shanley, you seen my little soft one? Because that's what I kept the ring in. And so she was kind of like owning me because she already had an inkling that something was going on, and I never take that thing with me anywhere. So step 1, and I'm carrying that little sunglass thing with me everywhere. Around the whole trip, kind of thinking, is this the right place? Is this the right place? Should I do it here? Should I do it here? And, this whole time I was like, you know what? We're going to go to this waterfall. I think this waterfall is going to be perfect. Well, we get out there and there's just a bunch of dudes out there cranking beers and listening to music. I'm like, you know what? That's maybe not so romantic. So I'm like, you know what? What do I do? We're on like the second to last day of our trip. I've turned down every other beautiful location that we've been to. What do I do? So I'm like, well, let's go to dinner first. Hopefully it clears out. And it cleared out, sure enough. So then we're at this waterfall alone. And I'm like, okay. So we're walking around and I'm kind of just nervous the whole entire time. Like, heart is just in the bottom of my stomach. And she's like, all right, well, let's go. And so she starts walking up the stairs and I just freeze and I tap on her shoulder and I'm like, on a knee behind her. And I'm like, no words are coming out of my mouth. I can't speak. And she goes, are you asking me to marry you? I go, uh-huh. And she goes, yes. And I go, yes. And she goes, yes. And then that's kind of how it happened. I froze up, I'd put too much pressure on the moment.
Yeah.
And
that's epic.
But it's something I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years of my life. And, I'm just finally in the position to where I was able to make it come true.
Well, I mean, so it's great to be able to, provide things like that. So it's hard to do on that $0 check you got. So it was really hard.
And the one before.
Yeah. That's going to be hard. Most ring places are going to want that number to be larger than that goose egg.
Yeah.
You could have gave them a profit split. You could have done a split with them. Yeah. That would have been nice. But no, that's great that you were able to actually achieve that goal, especially so close to just joining here.
Yeah.
Probably gave you more motivation to
it did. Now I got to provide for the family.
Right.
I got to bring home the bacon.
And we just saw, it was 2 weeks ago now, or we're just a couple days ago, you rang the bell for yourself.
Yep.
So we have a bell here in the office. You ring it every time you execute a deal. You ring it extra loud when it's for your own house. So tell us, when did this process start? Are you kind of like, we need to strike now, interest rates are flying, what are we doing?
So this process started 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago when I first moved to Jacksonville. We lived by the beach, and, when we first moved here, we were in the caliber where we could buy a house out at the beach because it wasn't crazy.
Yeah, okay.
And so, we're looking at it, and we're like, we're too young. We're scared. We shouldn't do this. But, in my head, I knew it was the right idea.
Right.
But I was too nervous to pull the trigger. And, I looked at what the monthly payment was going to be, and I was like, no way. 2 years later, my rent's higher than what that monthly payment would have been at a house 5 blocks away from the beach.
Yeah.
And, kick myself in the butt about it all the time. And then, so I knew I wanted to buy a home after that. I knew, it is right. That's the right thing to do. So we need to figure it out. So, my last job, I'm just not making enough to really have a home in where it is today.
Sure.
So, I'm like, how else am I going to do? How else am I going to make this happen? So, that's kind of where real estate on the side came a thing, where I was trying to do it on the side as much as I could, grinding. Didn't work out. You know what? Here's where I take the jump. I took the jump. First place didn't work out for me. All of a sudden, I come to DJ&Lindsey. My life does a 180, and we're on track. And in 3 months, I bought my first house.
That's absolutely wild, especially knowing that it's a 3-year journey.
Yeah.
Right? It was a 3-year goal that you could look at it and say, well, it took you 3 years to get there. Man, it really took you 90 days.
It was once you got into the right environment in the right place, it took me,
and
90 days.
I'm sure that the more you gave to real estate, you learned more. You start surrounding yourself with people. You're learning more. You're educating yourself. We're teaching you, but you're also just hearing all these other deals.
Yeah.
I think people don't value when you're around people doing this amount of volume. You hear so many stories and situations that you're like, oh, wow, that is kind of very similar to me. That kind of, I relate to that little nugget right there.
Yeah, another thing about being in the office with people, which is something I know for a fact people take for granted, is, having deals before when I was doing this on the side and off market, it was how do I get this done? Who can I call to figure this out? And if it's not me calling the brokers, it's walking around the office and somebody has been in a position before where they know how to make this work.
Big time.
And that's something that is invaluable. You can't put a price on it because it's information that I don't know.
What would have happened if you had a deal like that and you were walking around your old office? Would you have seen anybody?
Well, my last office was all virtual. So
So it would have been hard to walk around a virtual
Yeah.
office.
it would have been very hard. And, getting someone on the phone was hard as well. But, I mean, just alone doing the off-market stuff, like, I could have solved a lot of those problems if I had the knowledge of some of these people here.
Crazy.
And now that I'm here, I have that knowledge. And it's all at my disposal. It's literally, hey, Todd, can you help me with this?
Straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what we pride ourselves on. And I know that DJ and Lindsey are like super protective of that. And even Brittany, Brett, Travis, Ryan, the whole crew is super protective of the culture here. And that it's literally not only a place to grow, but it's a place to learn in order to grow. Everybody's just like, oh, you come here, let's look at your P&L report. Let's do this. It's like, yeah, you're not saying anything that's valuable to me right now because my P&L is 0. So I don't even have any example to show you. I literally want to know how I'm supposed to buy this house or how I'm supposed to get my buyer to be able to buy this house.
Make it work.
Right. And I think that a lot of them look past that because the pay to play.
Yeah.
You pay to play. They're just like, you're going to do so
Yeah.
great here. I need $2,000 and then you're going to do incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, another thing is it's like that saying where like, you can make mistakes on your own and learn from those mistakes. And what you learned over 10 years, you'll be better at the end of the 10 years because you learn from your mistakes. Whereas if you're with other people who have made those mistakes, you're multiplying the mistakes that you're learning from and also shortening the amount of time that you're learning everything.
100%. I mean, you literally, if we look at your stats, so let's jump in. Do you know your closed and pending count right now?
Closed 8. I think I have 2 pending right now. 2 pending right now.
Rad. So
or 3 if you count the.
We're here 120
condo.
days. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Let's play ball.
Yeah.
So 10 deals inside 120 days.
Yeah.
You purchase your own house.
Yeah.
So that's almost a full year's worth of just good agent knowledge in just deals alone.
Yeah.
Different,
different scenarios.
right,
Yeah.
different scenarios, the different customers, et cetera. That's a year's worth of knowledge that you've learned, not to mention the training and stuff. So we'll just move fully past that, which in and of itself is like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
But you now have attained almost a year's worth of real estate deals in less than 120 days to set you up for what the actual rest of the year is going to look like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's knowledge that you didn't get. Let's move again past the training that you didn't get from where you came from because you got 0%, $0, 0 deals, 0 everything.
0.
What was I'm curious about this just from a marketing standpoint. What was the strategy to acquire business elsewhere?
From the other places? What was the
Like what was the strategy? What was hey,
I know someone, I guess. Referral based. I learned from YouTube. So the strategy was, hey, I'm going to go on YouTube and whatever these gurus tell me to do is what I'm going to do. So I was like door knocking. I was just handing out business cards.
Was it eating up a lot of your day?
Yeah.
Okay. Now compare that to the same probably work you're doing. Just
it's a lot easier.
Well, yeah. And you're calling people who actually want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And you're only doing it 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a completely different thing. I don't know what the strategy was. The way I didn't really get that motive.
Okay.
They didn't get that far with me.
They didn't. Yeah. That's
so
interesting.
it was kind of, I kind of had to figure out how am I going to get people?
Which is weird because if you're in charge of your own business and they're going to help you build your own business, I feel like they should probably show you how to get business.
You would think.
Yeah. Okay. Rad.
But that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
why I'm here.
That's why we're just trying to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
I love that. So like if you had a message, because we kind of briefly touched this earlier, but if you had a message for somebody that is apprehensive about joining or doesn't know about us yet.
Yeah.
Let's start with apprehensive. What are you saying to those people?
Give it a shot yourself. Don't just listen to the stigma. Give it a shot yourself. Come try it. You'll see if you do the things that they tell you to do, you listen to the help, and you're coachable, you're going to close deals, you're going to have a successful year, and you're going to be proud that you made the decision to come try it.
I love this. Now,
Yeah.
people who have no clue who we are, never heard of it, they're getting licensed. They are like so ready to start
Yeah.
there. What do you got for those guys?
Get done with that test and get over here as soon as possible. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Don't beat around the bush.
Don't beat around the bush. Get that test done, knock it out, come see the Todd father, and come hang out with us, bust out some calls, and let's sell some houses.
I love that. Let's look at personal goals throughout the rest of the year. Obviously, have we set the date on the wedding yet?
No. We're kind of hanging out, enjoying the engagement.
I love that. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
House closing date.
Closing on June 5th.
Okay.
Because sellers needed that time, and you know what? Gives us more time to move in.
Love that.
So it works out perfectly for both
I love
parties.
finding the silver lining in situations like that.
Yeah.
You I need to get in this house. Well, if I get in this house, am I going to be biting off more than I can chew too soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, our lease isn't up to August. I think I'm going to have to pay like $300 to
Right.
to get out evenly in exchange to getting into my new home. And
Either that or you just give yourself a full month to move.
yeah, I get like a full month to move. That's awesome. So that's what we're thinking about. We're going to do a little bit of renovation. I think some of the girls in the office said we're going to come over and have a paint party for me. We're going to paint the house.
See, that's how you do it. You tell somebody else it's their idea, they want it.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah,
You
me
take
and
it's your
Shanley
canvas.
said, we'll bring the drinks. Y'all bring the paint. We'll get it done.
Let's do it. I love it's you
Yeah.
and the Vibe Tribe over there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's quickly touch on when you first got here, and then we're gonna wrap. But I want to hear about your relationship with one of your immediate mentors, which is Holly.
Yeah.
How much guidance and handholding did your mentor give you?
Every bit. I call for every question, even if I know the answer. I called just to get assurance, and Holly answers.
But how great is that to be able to rely on
It's
a leader like that?
absolutely amazing. Holly is a beacon of light that shines through my day every day, and I love seeing her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every question I have, she's up till 8:30. Sometimes past what her cutoff is, talking to me, answering. Helping me figure this out. Because if I succeed, so does she.
Well, she doesn't want to leave you out in the cold.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
the mentors kind of know that I'm a needy guy. I like the attention, and I like to talk, and I like to do all this. And so sometimes, I call you, and I know the answer to my question. I just need to hear you tell me the answer,
No. Yeah.
and I still get it. So
Yeah.
I feel comfortable going forward.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, because that's the biggest thing that we were also hearing is that a lot of times, it's really difficult to sometimes get your help or your mentor on the phone, which I was like, I've never heard that inside
Yeah.
here. I've only heard it outside here as yeah, it's great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But you kind of just hit the nail on the head of because I wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does it work? And you're like, yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Perfect. I love it. Well, dude, we absolutely love you here. You've obviously crushed it in your first 120 days.
Thank you.
We have a great time with the marketing squad. We got to get out, hit the links a little bit. I know we talk about
Yeah.
it. You brought the little putt game in here. It's a great time.
Yeah.
But the spring market is just too hot to try and take some time off here.
Yeah.
I think we'll hit it maybe August.
We're going to wait that long?
Well, I want to do a big thing
Yeah,
with
yeah.
everybody, not just us, but I want to do a big event. I'm thinking August might be
Yeah.
a good time because everybody tries to crunch in, get inside that
Yeah.
school year, try and get set
Yeah.
up. Once everybody's back in school, everybody kind of hits
Yeah.
the brakes a little bit. We'll see how Deej feels about it.
Yeah.
But-
Deej.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. And
Yeah.
if we organize a chance to swing the clubs, I think he'll carve out some time for
Yeah.
it.
That
But,
sounds good to me.
We appreciate you, man. You're crushing it. Keep up the great work. This podcast is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a great way for you
Hey,
to
Mom.
great way for you to listen to books instead of read them because you're busy driving to showings, selling houses, etc. So what you can do is you can look at the link in the description here or go to tryaudible.com/DJ&Lindsey. And that way you can try Audible for free while you're driving to those showings after you join. Drew, you're the man.
Thanks, sir.
Congratulations, homie. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll see you.